Hey guys, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Mathilda and it's lovely to meet you. If you are a returning subscriber, you know you're my G. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and I'm really happy and glad that you're still here. So as you can see from the title or from the thumbnail or whatever, we're basically going to be talking about my COVID experience. And as you guys saw in my previous video, it's going to be up there in the cards, so make sure you go back, watch it, and then come back to this video. Okay, is that a deal? Now I really want you guys to understand that coming on here to talk about this, even though I've already made subsequent videos talking, or basically just letting you guys in on this personal part of my life, I just want you guys to understand that this is actually a big deal, more so because of the parts of the world that we are in currently. And I just wanted to put it out there and say that it is not a bad thing to have been affected by COVID. Many people in this part of the world basically feel like you should be stigmatized and stuff. Many people are actually stigmatized. Funny story is, when I was down with COVID and I told my mom about it, she was really worried. She was like, oh, don't tell anybody, don't do this, don't do that. And I was like, I understood her, because obviously she doesn't want me to feel some type of way. She doesn't want me to feel like an outcast and all of that. But then again, we just need to continue to educate people that we are in a pandemic, and unfortunately this is the situation we find ourselves in. Definitely we have to keep protecting ourselves, wearing our masks and all of that. But if you do end up getting the virus, there's absolutely nothing that you can do. You just have to take your medication and hope for the best. Really. So this is a really sensitive topic, so I'm going to try my best to just stick to the story and tell you what my experience was. This is 100% what I experienced. Definitely this is a virus and everybody's body is different, so everybody's going to have probably a slightly different story to what it is. But I just want you guys to take everything that I say seriously, and I just want you guys to basically know that this video is not a joke. And so yeah, because people are definitely unfortunately dying from this disease, and I should basically count myself blessed and lucky to still be alive today. I'm just going to start from the very, very, very beginning. I remember that it was pretty much a very hectic week for me. In the week that I found out that I had COVID, okay? It was a very hectic week for me. I was running errands. I was stressed. When I tell you I was stressed, I was super stressed. And to be honest, if you know me, I always say I'm stressed, but that was a different type of stress, okay? I was so stressed. That whole day, I had a very crazy headache. When I tell you I had a crazy headache, I mean I had a crazy headache. Like, you guys wouldn't understand. And I'm also one of those people that have migraines every other day, okay? Unfortunately, it's part of me, and so I'm used to having headaches. So I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, okay, I'm stressed out, one, and I'm tired too. So that's probably why, I have a headache right now. So I was still doing my thing, going about my day. I came back to my hostel, basically, and I was still feeling a little tired, and my headache was still very much there, okay? So I decided to take a shower and just get some food to eat and then get some rest. By 2 a.m. 3 a.m. I woke up just to go use the restroom or whatever, and my headache was still there. And I was like, this is strange, because for someone who constantly gets headaches, I know that as soon as I sleep it off and I wake up the next day, the headache is going to go. And so if I'm up by 3 a.m. and I'm still having this headache and it's still very much there, when I tell you that my headache was so bad, I could not even move my head, you guys would probably not even believe me. It was I think it's one of the worst headaches I've ever felt in all the history of headaches that I've ever had in my life. Trust me. It was not an easy thing to go through, okay? I could not move my head, literally. And so I didn't take a painkiller. I don't know if I said I took painkillers. Because I have headaches so much, I don't like to take painkillers, because they say that it's not good to take too many painkillers, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, for those reasons, I did not take any painkillers. So if I did say I took painkillers, sorry, that was a confusion. I didn't. So I decided to take painkillers then, because I felt like it was serious that my headache was still persisting when I was up at dawn. So I took painkillers and I went back to bed. Okay. So when I woke up in the morning, probably by 10 p.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. because I'm not really an early riser like that. I woke up and my headache was still there. Can you guys imagine? That's when I was like, no, there's something wrong. You know, why do I still have a headache? I mean, obviously I'm still stressed. I've taken a nap, and so my body is supposed to have, I don't know, done its thing. So I was like, why do I still have a headache? Anyway, I told my friend about it, that I have a headache. I obviously told him that I had a headache the day before and all of that. So he also didn't really think too much about it. So I don't remember. I think later in the day, I started to feel a little sicker, you know. Aside the headache, I was now feeling feverish. And what else was I feeling that day? Yeah, I was basically feeling feverish, and then I had a headache. Okay, mind you, bear in mind, I was still going about my daily activities because you know, here, especially here in Africa, we have colds and we have headaches and we get malaria all the time. So I thought I literally was coming down with malaria, and I was just trying to fight it. So my friend was telling me that I should just get tested for COVID, basically, because already he thought it was COVID. We're in a pandemic. You should definitely test. And I was being very stubborn. I was like, no, I don't want to test. Why should I test? I don't think I have COVID. I felt like I was immune to this, you know, virus. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. Nah, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna test, you know. So I said I would get a malaria test instead of doing a COVID test. First of all, COVID tests are really expensive, so I was not about to use a chunk of my money, which I was planning to use for my trip, to do a COVID test, because even before you travel, you do a COVID test. So why should I do a COVID test now when my trip is in about 3 to 4 weeks? It just was not making any sense to me. Okay, so I said, nah, I'm going to get a malaria test. Not even the one that you get in the hospital. Here, you can get a malaria test in a pharmacy. If you live in Accra, you know you can get a malaria test done in a pharmacy. They're just gonna prick your thumb, put it on the thingy, and then they are gonna say, okay, yeah, whatever. So I said that's what I was going to do, and that is exactly what I did. So it was pretty late. Even with the malaria test, let me tell you, I was feeling lazy. I was like, nah, it's just malaria. I can just buy drugs. But because the fever was getting worse, you guys, let me even explain it. It's like I was feeling feverish, and I could feel my bones sort of like feeling injected. Like, I don't even know if that makes any sense. See, I can't explain what was going on in my body, but it's like my bones were being pierced, and not just like on my arms, all over my body. So it was just getting worse. It was going worse and worse and worse. The fever thing, it was just affecting my bones. So I was starting to get a bit worried. So that's when I got up and I said, you know what, I'm going to drive to the pharmacy and get a test. So that's what I did. I got to the pharmacy and then I did a test. Lo and behold, the test was negative. Why did I even say lo and behold? The test was negative. Okay. And the pharmacist was still telling me to get drugs. Africans, why do we always do this? Why? The test says I'm negative, so why are you still telling me to get drugs? He said my symptoms show that you definitely have malaria. And I was like, if I have malaria, why is it saying I'm negative? And he's like, oh, you know, sometimes the parasite doesn't show early. I don't know if he said parasite. I don't know what exact word he used, but basically let me just use parasite. He was basically saying that the parasite, right, the plasmodium parasite in my body is not yet showing on the test kit. Okay, and so that's why it's not saying that it is positive. So with my malaria test, I was like, oh, you know, that's basically what he was telling me. And in my mind I was like, bullshit, what do you mean? First of all, I'm trying not to use any money, okay, and you're trying to tell me to buy malaria tests when I've tested and the thing is saying negative. Are you joking? Who do you think I am? You think I'm just here to play? Like, basically I didn't buy the drugs and I left the shop. I left the pharmacy and I came back to school. So I called my friend and I was on the phone with him and I was telling him, oh, the thing is negative, blah blah blah. And he's like, you see, I told you had COVID. And I was like, who has COVID? Me? How how do I have COVID? Just because it's negative doesn't mean I have COVID. And then I started to go along with what the pharmacist was telling me. You know, that whole story of how the levels of the Plasmodium parasite are not yet up to what the test kit can read. That's basically what I was trying to explain to him. The bullshit that I wasn't taking. I now accepted that bullshit, and I was telling my friend because I was literally a clown. Okay, so I went back to school. My friend was fighting with me. He literally told me that it would be irresponsible of me to continue to go out without knowing whether I have COVID or not. So I have to quarantine for 14 days. And I wasn't having that. Already, I had some party I wanted to go for. And then I had other travel plans. I just had things to do. It was crazy. My internship was starting the next week. You know, travel plans, this and that. Everything good was basically happening to me. And I was excited. And this was about to slow me down. I was like, no way. Okay? This is not going to slow me down. I'm not going to allow it to slow me down. I just wasn't hearing it. I wasn't hearing my friend. He was so upset with me. He was like, why am I being irresponsible? And to be fair, I was being irresponsible. Don't be like me, guys. Don't ever be like me. Because imagine if I didn't listen to him and then I just went out to do whatever I wanted because I felt like I haven't tested and I don't know if I had COVID. Especially when I was seeing symptoms. I just was being selfish. And that's not fair because there are many people who are losing their lives because of this. Anyway, back to the story. We basically had a whole argument about it and he wasn't talking to me basically. And I thought about it, and unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, the only reason why I decided to take a test the next day was because I was like, it's going to hurt me so much to quarantine and not actually have COVID. So why don't I just get the test and prove that I don't have COVID to my friends so I can move about? Okay, that was literally my logic. Not really the best, but at least it got me to take the test. Okay, don't come for me. Anyway, so I went to, I don't know if I'm saying this right, don't come for me, Noguchi, to get my test done. It is a test center on campus. I drove there the next morning and I went to get my test done. Let me just tell you the process real quick. When I got there, you pay first. It was 350 Ghana cedis. I'll put the equivalents in dollars on the screen, but yeah, it was 350 Ghana cedis. And after you pay, they basically ask you if you're doing it for travel, blah 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 blah. I said no, I was just doing the test because I felt like I had it. They asked if you're seeing symptoms. No, do they ask? No, I don't think they asked me that. I'm not sure, but yeah, basically I did that. I got into the tent and all of that, and then I got my test. They give you the swabs and then the container that the test thingy goes into, and you take it into the tent. Okay, I hope you guys understand. So yes, I went to do my test, and then after the test I left and came back to campus. So after my test, I realized that I started to feel pain. I don't know if it was my left or my right ear, but there was this pain I was feeling and it was almost unbearable. It was hurting me so much. I don't know why exactly I was feeling that pain. I don't know if it's because I did the test and then the test was in my nose and my mouth, and so it somehow affected my ear. I don't know, but basically I was just worried. I googled whether ear pain can be a symptom of COVID, and they said in rare occasions it could be. The test people told me I'll get my test within 24 hours. And so right after I googled that, I already had a feeling that, okay, the way things are going, it's looking like I actually do have COVID. But then I was still hopeful. My test literally came an hour later, and then boom, COVID. I was like heartbroken. I was sad. I was literally in my feelings, okay? And it did bring me down in that brief second when I saw it, because I was worried, I was scared, I was feeling so many things, not just for my health alone. I mean, obviously I was worried about my health, but then again, I was worried about the things that I had to do that it was obstructing. We always forget that health is wealth, baby. Let me tell you, health is wealth. Forget all the money, health is wealth, because I was just like worried. The way I am, I like to meet timelines, I like to work, I like to be on my feet. I don't like to, I mean, of course, sometimes I like to just chill in bed, but for 14 days, I was like, oh, me. Exactly. So I called my friend and told him that, look, I have COVID. And he was like, I told you. I mean, of course, he wasn't jubilating, but he was just like, yeah, I told you that you have COVID, you had it, and blah blah blah. It's good you're in quarantine. Just by the way, that friend also had COVID. I'm not even trying to laugh at him, but I'm just trying to see the irony, right? The irony. Anyway, so I was just bummed out. He basically encouraged me and told me it's not the end of the world, and basically I shouldn't put it in my mind that I'm sick, because you know, usually these things start from your mind more often than not. So you should also fight the virus. Okay, that's basically what I was saying. So I told my mom the next day. First I told my siblings, and then they told my mom, because I couldn't tell my mom first because my mom is very worried about a lot of things, and I wasn't about to add that onto her worried plate. She's also very anxious. I was not ready to, I just wasn't ready. So they told her. The next day she called me and she was like, I told you, when I tell you to wash your hands and stay indoors, you don't want to listen to me. She was literally not, she wasn't having it. She wasn't letting me have it at all. I mean, she wasn't necessarily angry, but she was just like, I told you, you're not listen, this should not listen. Like, you know mothers. That's basically what she was on about. And then she told me she asked how I was feeling. At this point, I was feeling like shit. Literally, I was feeling like shit. The thing had blown up fully. This would have probably been like the fourth day, I think. So yeah, I was feeling like shit. My ears were hurting, my whole body. I was so weak. I was tired. I had a sore throat. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. I don't know why, but I had a sore throat as well. But then it wasn't like the sore throat that I usually would have. Okay, it was just like, again, I usually do get sore throats, guys. It looks like I literally have a sickness, but that's not what it is. Believe me, my sore throat was still very much there. It had actually even worsened. I still had a headache, but it wasn't as bad as the first 2 days. But then aside that, I was just generally tired, weak. My bones were still hurting. I was feverish, shivering. Bro, I was sick. Okay. My parents were really worried. My dad was calling me every day. My mom was calling me every day. They were like, where are you taking my... See, everybody became a medical doctor. It was crazy. Everybody was telling me, take this, take that. No, don't take this. No, don't take that. And it was just like, wow. And let me just say this. I was actually highly disappointed in the hospital. Not the hospital, but the testing center. Because I literally thought that once you have COVID, they're going to whisk you away in a van and, you know, isolate you. But no, nobody even called me. And I was like, wow, nobody is calling me in a pandemic when people are literally dying from this. This is something that can be spread easily. Nobody came for me. Nobody called me to even tell me the type of drugs I should get. Nothing. I literally had to do it on my own. There was no number even on the test thing. Nothing of the sort. I don't know why. I'm not trying to come for them, but it was honestly very disappointing. And it wasn't even just at Noguchi. It was also at another lab that I tested. I was just really disappointed that they didn't check up on me. Basically, I just needed some love and care. But then my family was there for me, so I'm grateful. It's fine. So yeah, a family doctor friend prescribed some drugs for me. They also gave me the traditional way. Obviously, we're in Africa. Hello, that is even the best way, because I had to take neem tree, as in like I had to sniff it. My friends were telling me to drink it. Hell no, that thing is bitter. I could not. Look, guys, it was not an easy thing, and I was doing this sniffing and, you know, trying to get better for 14 days. Okay, I could not drink anything cold, bro. And I love cold stuff. I love ice cream. That was when my senses were craving all different types of cold shit that I couldn't take. I was super bummed about it, but I just had to do it because I definitely did not want it to spread to my lungs and my chest area, and thankfully it did not. I think about the 5th or 4th day, 5th, 4th or 6th day, I started to lose my taste and my smell. I lost my taste first. It wasn't like everything was bland. For me, everything was literally salty. And I know that doesn't mean I lost my taste, but that's how it felt to me. Everything was literally salty. I couldn't taste I couldn't really taste what the food tasted like. It was just salt, literally. And it wasn't just one meal. It was all the meals I was having. Even bread tasted like salt. You can't tell me anybody put like salt and bread. So don't come for me and tell me that maybe they weren't like cooking your food right, or someone was putting salt on your food. Even bread tasted like salt. And then with my smell was actually the most horrible one. I got my taste back quickly, probably by the like second day. But with my smell, yo, that scent didn't come back even after the 14 days, trust me. After the 14th day of my quarantine. So that's obviously not like from the first day I was diagnosed or whatever, or from the first day I started seeing symptoms. But the smell thing, my nose was just hurting. And the craziest part is that because your nose can't sense things, when there's like a strong pungent smell, maybe someone is peeling onions, or someone is cooked, or someone sprays perfume, or there's alcohol around or something, my nose would have tried to like pick the scent because of how strong and pungent it is. And bro, the pain, because it can't, that's how I can interpret it to you, that's how I can explain it. Because I feel like my nose can't really find the scent, it's like, I don't even know, bro. It feels like dry air is passing through your nostrils. See, the pain is intense. That was like one of my final battles. I was so excited when I was able to smell again, because like it's not easy. We really do not know what we have till we lose it. And my sense of smell and taste were two of the things that I was dying to have back, okay? But yeah, that's literally my whole COVID experience. I'm going to answer a few questions that some of you asked me because I put it up on my Instagram. I'm not going to answer questions I've already tackled just by telling my story. So there will probably be really few questions. I have the questions right here. Sorry if I'm looking down. That's because I'm looking at the questions. Someone said, how come yours wasn't contagious? Baby girl, that's a lie. How? I mean, I was very much contagious, okay? You need to know that even if you're asymptomatic, you are still very contagious. You just do not experience symptoms or anything like that. But I wasn't asymptomatic, and I did experience symptoms, and I was also contagious. So no matter what you are, asymptomatic or not, you're still contagious. So you still have to isolate or quarantine or whatever it is. But I have heard that if you are asymptomatic, your quarantine days are shorter. I do not know if those are facts or just hearsay, but please do your research. Don't come for me, okay? I'm just saying what I've heard, what I've seen on the internet actually, but just do your research, okay? Someone asked whether I had any uncommon symptoms. Yes, I did. Okay, I'm not sure if that's uncommon. Okay, well, I think they are. Ear pain. I had never heard of anybody having or experiencing ear pain from COVID-19, and so I think that was the only uncommon symptom. I do not know if people feel the bone thing I was trying to explain in the early parts of the video, but if you did and you have had COVID before, just comment down below and let me know, okay? Yeah. Someone said, how painful was the test on a scale of 1 to 10? For me, the throat one was probably a 3, and maybe I'm being too, a 3 or 2 for me, because I just felt like it wasn't really tasking or difficult to do. The nose test was what was very difficult, and I would give that like a solid 9. Mostly a 9 and not a 10, because it depends on who's doing the test for you. It is uncomfortable, and it can actually get painful depending on who's doing it and how skilled they are, or how far they push the swab into your nose. And so for me, in all the times that I've done the test, and I've done the test a couple of times, probably 5 to 6 times, or 5 times ish. I've even done the test myself, and even doing it myself, I can tell you that it was not easy. So I'll give it a 9, and it was painful to me and uncomfortable. Someone said, were you on your period? If yes, did you have extra pain? Oh my god, no, I was not on my period, and so I can't really tell you if I had extra pain or not. And the last question, how did people behave around you? To be very honest, people were very supportive. Not many people knew at the time that I had COVID that I had it, mostly because I was in quarantine, and just my family and a few of my close friends around me that obviously had to know so they don't come around me knew, and then my roommates. So yeah, those are the people who knew I had it, and they were very supportive, always checking up on me, making sure I took my medication, when I couldn't get food because obviously I wasn't well, they would Uber me food, or yeah, just send like a dispatch rider, or like a, you know, just, yeah, basically send me food, just run some of my errands for me. They were very, very supportive, and I'm very grateful for that. Let me just say thank you guys, really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm very, very honored, and I'm blessed to have people like that around me. Aside that, I would just like to say before I finally go that you guys should please wear your masks and sanitize your hands, and just keep the social distancing rule. I know it's not easy, and they're not really pushing it in the media as much as they used to when the pandemic first broke, but honestly, it's every man for himself right now. So just make sure you're safe, you're keeping the people around you safe, because maybe you may not really have crazy symptoms, but you don't know if your friend or neighbor or brother or sister or whoever for that matter may be strongly affected by this. And also for people who have lost loved ones, family, friends, I just want to say that I'm with you, and say I just want to send out my condolences, and just say that I'm with you and I'm praying with you, and that, you know, yeah, basically yeah. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I really enjoyed making it for you. It's always fun educating and, you know, just letting you guys in a little bit on, you know, some things that I have to in my life. Hopefully my next video will be out pretty soon after this one. It is going to be a room tour. I'm not going to say anymore, but it's basically going to be a room tour. Subscribe, leave a comment, like, turn on post notifications so that you can be notified anytime that I post, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye.